Thank you, Julians, for that lovely introduction. Let me recognize our host tonight, Mr. Suleiman Dusani, CEO of Sunoida Solutions. Thank you for having us here. Mr. Sukrat Kocha, Executive Director, Sunoida, regulators in the room, fellow bank executives, distinguished guests. Good evening. Good evening. I thought you were given coffee, Kenyan coffee. That's what Mr. Dusani said. You didn't have coffee? I'm expecting a bit more enthusiasm, isn't it? Or is it because you're talking about data? Huh? Is it because you're talking about data? You know, I was listening to Mr. Dusani, and I think he had a view to my speech, so he's kind of covered most of what I was going to say. But that said, do allow me to say a few words. It's a real privilege to be here with you today to speak on the topic that's timely and transformational: how data can empower banks and foster data-driven culture. I think the world has become very data-driven. I was just reflecting just a couple of months ago, actually, right? We had the US president giving us data every day. Tariff would be 135, would be 20, would be 10, isn't it? We are all talking about that data and consuming that data. So we all can't run away from data. So the world of data is evolving at an unprecedented pace, driven by shifting customer habits, technological advances, and demand for innovation and speed. Data is fundamentally reshaping the future of financial services in Kenya and indeed globally. It is both a strategic asset and an engine of modern organizational excellence. It empowers smarter decisions, sharpens risk controls, enables seamless operations, and delivers highly personalized customer experiences. Every day, banking customers generate massive volumes of data, millions of transactions flowing through digital channels, ATMs, our mobile apps, cards, and other devices. This data, structured and unstructured, falls under what we now call big data. And Mr. Dusani talked about that a bit. And yet, for many financial services organizations, it remains a largely untapped resource. When used effectively, data unlocks deep insights into customer behavior, product performance, and emerging market trends. It becomes a driver of innovation and key source of compelling advantage. It's impossible to talk about data without talking about artificial intelligence. That's what I was saying. Mr. Dusani was sort of reading my speech. And, you know, I was reflecting on this conversation of artificial intelligence. And I remembered a comment I saw on X, I think this morning, which someone said, you know, Microsoft, I think you also saw it, huh? Microsoft has been here teaching our people and charging us to learn AI, promising jobs, thousands of jobs from AI. Yet, Microsoft just announced that because of AI, they have shed 700 jobs. So when you talk about AI, it has different meanings to different people. But undoubtedly, though, data has become the foundation of AI. And around the world, including right here at home, banks are actively integrating AI capabilities across their operations. To be clear, for AI to work effectively and fairly, banks must ensure their data is complete, consistent, and accurate. This means strengthening governance, implementing strong data quality strategies, and investing in the right tools. While the full potential of AI is unfolding, the benefits we are already seeing are undeniable. Increased efficiency and cost savings from automating loan processing, fraud detection, and customer service. Improved risk management through better credit assessments and early fraud detection. Enhance revenue generation by delivering personalized products, identifying new growth opportunities, and increasing customer engagement. In fact, global institutions such as JP Morgan and Bank of America, my former employer, are already reporting measurable gains from the use of AI. However, the exciting part is that Kenya has not been left behind. Our local financial services institutions are making incredible strides. My own bank, NCBA, product called Mshwari, co-developed with Safaricom, uses mobile money data to assess credit risk, opening access to savings and loans for over 30 million Kenyans. And using AI, it's an equalizing tool because the way we treat a customer who is in Nairobi or High Street is the same way we treat a customer in Garissa. Because data and AI, as far as we are concerned, the customer is actually that data that we have about that individual. And that's how we make our decisions. If I turn to Equity Bank, easy banking platform, customer data is used to offer personalized credit, savings plans, and micro investments, empowering over 14 million customers, as the bank has announced. KCB, on the other hand, through its M-Pesa mobile lending platform, analyzes transaction history, offering instant loans to millions of Kenyans, especially those without a formal credit history. I could go on and mention every bank that's represented here or even not here that has used some form of AI and data analysis in this market to offer personalized and far-reaching solutions to its customers. But each of these innovations rests on one foundation: data. So what's the big picture? The shift to data-driven decision-making is already reshaping our economy. Let me highlight some 4 key areas where this is happening. One is financial inclusion. Like I've mentioned, NCBA's Mshwari and KCB's M-Pesa have brought millions of unbanked Kenyans into the formal financial system and being viewed equally no matter where they are in Kenya. On SME growth, data-driven credit models are helping small micro-enterprises access financing without collateral, which is critical considering SMEs drive over 80% of employment in Kenya. More recently, our digital platform Loop, working with certain partners, have been able to lend to rice farmers in Yala and Siaya by 1, lending to them, and 2, giving them data, was weather forecast, market information, and all this information. And we have seen a 40 times increase on their bottom line. So that's the type of effect the use of data can have. Number 3, regulatory transparency. With stronger data reporting standards from the Central Bank of Kenya, banks that invest in compliance tools like real-time monitoring and digital KYC are leading the way. I think you have seen from the video that was presented to us the work that our hosts tonight are doing with various banks across Africa and indeed across the world. I think National Bank of Rwanda featured quite a bit as one where they have done a lot of work. Lastly, resilience during crisis. During COVID-19, which seems to be long forgotten memory, isn't it? Yeah? It was only 4 years ago. Don't forget. During COVID-19, banks that had advanced data models were able to proactively restructure loans and support at-risk customers, proving that data can be a tool for crisis response. We have made progress. But ladies and gentlemen, what more can we do to sustain this momentum? 1, I believe we must invest in scalable data infrastructure platforms that support real-time analytics, secure APIs, and seamless integration. We must strengthen data governance, encouraging ethical use, clear ownership, and public trust in how data is managed. 3, we must champion data-driven leadership where boards and executives view data not as a back office function, but as a strategic asset. 4, we must build capacity, training more data scientists, analysts, and business leaders who can turn information into impact. And lastly, data is only useful if we foster collaboration as an industry. As Kenya Bankers Association, we are committed to advancing a responsible data-driven financial ecosystem, an ecosystem that fuels innovation, strengthens compliance, and protects consumers. We can share platforms and engage with regulators, such as the Office of the Data Commissioner, to ensure that all players process data lawfully. We believe data must be used ethically and indeed strategically. And we are actively working with stakeholders, regulators, banks, fintechs, and others like partners in the room from Sunoida to shape policies and platforms that support this vision. You know, if we get it right, the opportunities are limitless for inclusion, innovation, and sustainable economic growth. So as I end, let me pay a special tribute to our host tonight, Sunoida Solutions, who have been at the forefront of developing tools and capabilities for neighboring banks and other financial players in the usage and governance of data. Later on, my colleagues from NCBA will be here to share some of the experiences we have had working with Sunoida. And I so therefore don't want to steal their thunder. Let me give them that opportunity. But let us continue to work together to ensure that data becomes a force for good, unlocking value for every Kenyan. Thank you and have a good evening.